Vampyr from Dontnod Entertainment. Dontnod are known for games like Life is Strange and for the poorly named Remember Me that no one seems to remember. In Vampyr you play a vampire and also a doctor, Jonathan Crane, in 1918 London, in and around the same time as the Spanish flu. Over the course of the game you will try to determine who turns you into a vampire, try to deal with the Spanish flu as a doctor, try to keep your vampirism a secret, while also trying to determine why there are so many vampires on the streets of London and why there are vampire hunters. Although, to be fair, the number of vampires would necessitate the number of vampire hunters. Gameplay wise, it plays kind of like... it's a kind of standard action game, a lot like their old Remember Me. It doesn't quite have the same combo system. In fact, the combat is kind of sluggish. Despite your character being a vampire, they're kind of slow. I mean, they have a nice kind of teleport dash move, but it's a very sluggish combat. He's very slow to attack. It's very easy for enemies to just interrupt you while you're attacking. And to be honest, the combat in itself is not a whole lot of fun, even with the extra abilities your character has. They just don't really vary up the combat all that much. It's kind of the game's weakest point. I had been tracking this game for a while. It seemed very interesting to me because it's been a long time since I've played a decent vampire game, or any vampire game for that matter. And I was kind of hoping there'd be a stealth element. I don't know why I had it in my head that there would be a stealth element to the game, because all the gameplay I've seen didn't have any. But I don't know, you kind of thought vampire, stealth, do they not go together? I don't know. Apparently not, because there's no stealth in the game. You do have like an invisibility move, but so many enemies can see straight through it that it's, you know, functionally useless. One interesting thing that the game does have is a kind of social link or social hierarchy you have with named NPCs in kind of safe areas of the game, non-combat areas of the game. And this is largely how you level up in the game. So each character that you come across is worth a certain number of XP if you decide to, you know, indulge your vampirism and drain them of their blood. But if you get to know them better, do some side quests for them, you know, help them in their problems, etc., for some reason they get more experience. Their blood becomes better somehow. I don't really know. It's never really explained. Just go with it, video games. And, you know, if you help them out and get to know them a little bit better, you'll get more if you decide to drink from their blood. And if you decide to, you know, take out, because this kills the NPC if you do it, so they're out of the game. But this will have an effect on other characters that they're linked to. So if you take out a husband or a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever, the significant other will do something. So in one instance, if you take out one of the boyfriends, if you come back later, the girlfriend has joined the vampire hunter guard, and you might even encounter them out on the streets as just another combat experience. And there's a lot of different ones like that, you know, just depending on who you decide to kill, at what point in the story you decide to do it. It can vary up a lot of different interactions you can have with those NPCs. However, if you play the game the way I played it, the very first time, where I didn't kill anybody, then none of that stuff ever happens. I mean, you do get to know them better, and yeah, their blood becomes better and more richer, but I'm never drinking from it, so I get no benefit out of that. The only way to get a lot of the best equipment is to kill those NPCs, because along with the boost in experience, you also get their equipment, you get keys to some locked chests that they have, and, you know, that opens up better equipment for you, better weapons, better guns, better whatever. And that's kind of a way the player defines their difficulty level. So if you want the game to be really easy, kill everybody. Kill all the NPCs, drink all their blood. You'll get a massive boost of experience, and you can use that to spend on, you know, just making your character considerably better. If you don't do that and you want to, you know, keep everyone alive, the game's going to get very difficult for you. You will be avoiding combat most of the time because it just becomes a bit of a slog. You don't have access to big, you know, experience gains, so you're not really going to be able to invest that well. So first time through the game, you know, play it the way the developer more or less wanted you to do. You know, kill a couple of the NPCs at least. Maybe the next time through, you know, try to do the pacifist run, don't do what I did. I enjoyed the game overall, but the combat, since it's like a primary gameplay pillar, it being so kind of sluggish and so kind of boring, if you can get through it, there's a lot there, but if you can't, and it's understandable if you can't, then you might want to shy away from it. This is Agony by MadMind Studios. So I've been talking about Agony on the channel and on these kind of videos for a while. I'll just give a quick refresher. It was a Kickstarter project that I did back. It's a first-person survival horror, stealth horror kind of thing set in hell, like literal hell. So I kind of been looking forward to this because I backed it, you know, I wanted to see how it turned out, and super disappointment. I kind of shot myself in the foot with this, to be fair, because I actually don't like, you know, stealth horror, the hide from the monster, the kind of Alien Isolation, Amnesia, you know, Outlast, those kind of games. I actually don't like them that much, and that's what kind of game this is. So, off to a bad start already. But I appreciated the kind of atmosphere they were going for in their pitch. I appreciated their commitment to making like a literal hell, like a biblical thing, not like things you'd see in some games like Silent Hill will go for the kind of philosophical, kind of metaphorical hell, you know, like it's a gloomy city, but technically it's hell. Like they went for the whole, here's gore and blood and like there's baby corpses and there's like, you know, boobs everywhere, like horrible boobs that nobody wants, and guys with their junk out, and you know, that's my hell, guys with their junk out, I guess. But yeah, gameplay wise, it's like your standard hide from the monster in the closet kind of thing, but it has a lot of technical issues, presentation problems. Like you can see the kind of shiny textures. You could probably see that the game hitches whenever it saves or whenever it's presenting a menu to you or a tutorial to you. It's like pauses. It really takes it out. It takes you out of the game a lot. And the game is really fucking dark. I can't see anything. I don't know if that's just my television or whatever, but I don't have this problem with other games, and I'm practically like pitch black in one situation. Like there's a lot of technical issues, and then presentation wise, you know, I've already said like the texture work in Unreal, the darkness, the aberration they have on the screen, although to be fair you can turn those off, so I might try and do that instead. And you've got the voice work as well, so I mean it's clearly, you know, janky. And I don't normally have a problem with janky, but there's just a certain collection of jankiness going on in this game that's just rubbing me the wrong way. It has received a number of patches and is continuing to receive patches, so we'll see. I might come back to it after it's kind of stabilized a bit, and we'll see what it's like then. MadMind Studios themselves have hit some kind of financial issues, so there may not be too many more patches along the way, who knows. There was also some talk of the game being censored to appear on PSN and Xbox and so on. From the developers themselves, they said there hasn't been a lot taken out, and they were even in fact able to put more back in after another review, but those cries of censorship aren't really going to go away. But you have to take it for what it is. So yeah, I'm kind of disappointed, but to be fair, I was setting myself up to be disappointed. I'd say keep an eye on it, come back to it after a while when it's stabilized, maybe look at it then. Probably your best bet would be get it on the PC though.
The Red Goddess, the only one. There is nothing. She's the only one. The Red Goddess, the only one. There is nothing. She's the only one. The Red Goddess, the only one. There is nothing. She's the only one.
Hollow Knight, independent title by Team Cherry. So Hollow Knight came out on PC last year and was well received. It was certainly something I had a lot of interest in. Sort of hoping it would come out on console at some point, and it has. It's on Nintendo Switch as of this month. So Hollow Knight is a 2D Metroidvania style game. You play the knight, the Hollow Knight, I guess, as he ventures into this kind of long lost insect humanoid thing kingdom. And, you know, goes about solving mysteries and fighting bosses and opening doors and upgrading his abilities and so on. You know the drill. It's got this really nice, kind of dark, with kind of stark white art style. It's got really smooth gameplay, platforming is really smooth, combat is really nice. The game doesn't necessarily direct you on what way to go, it just sort of gives you free reign of the map, and there are some places you can go, and some places you can't go, for either the door is locked, or you just don't have an ability to get past it, or the enemy there just smushes you real damn fast. Whatever it is, something's blocking you. You go look somewhere else, you know, get a new ability, pick up a key, kill a boss, whatever, what have you, and then come back there later. You know, you have access to your map. Your map will update and it'll tell you, you know, where you've been, where you haven't been. The game, however, is quite difficult and quite punishing, so it does have a corpse run mechanic, like, you know, like Dark Souls or like Diablo or like any kind of roguelike game that uses the corpse run mechanic. So yes, you lose all your money and you lose all your power if you die, and you gotta go back and pick it all up again, and if you don't pick it up the first time then you lose it all. You know the drill. And if you don't, go play Dark Souls. So that kind of extra facet, you know, does add a lot to the Metroidvania aspect. You know, boss fights can be quite tense. Even standard combat encounters can get a little bit tense if you're sitting on, you know, a couple of thousand insect books and you don't want to lose them, and you're really far away from the last, you know, save spot or transfer station. So yeah, it does add a bit of tension to the gameplay, but it's a lot of fun. It's on the Switch, so you know, you can take it on the go, or you can play it docked at home. I'm just glad I got to play it eventually, and I'm really liking it. I'm not too far in, so my mindset might change if I do happen to die twice and lose all that money. But anyway, it hasn't happened yet, so we'll see. This is a demo for Octopath Traveler on the Switch now. So the full game will be out next month, and I'll have a lot more to say about it then. So I'm just going to give like some brief thoughts on the demo. This game, I had heard of it like a good while ago, and then it kind of refreshed my memory at E3, and I went, oh yeah, that game. And then the demo came out, so I'm playing it. Oh, I'm really digging its kind of 2.5D diorama art style it's got going on. It's like 16-bit characters, but they're in a kind of 3D world, but everything is still 2D. It's weird, and I like it. And it's kind of 8 characters set up, so you have 8 characters with their own origin story. They appear all around the world, and then at some point they all meet up and carry on the rest of the game. I'm not sure how that works. I am interested to see how it works though, so we'll have a lot more about that next month, so stay tuned to the channel for that.
Now then, the battle is true. The battle is my blade is unbending.
So those were some of the games I played for June 2018. Kind of disappointing, and to be fair, I set myself up for the disappointment. Vampyr, I was just kind of hoping for a kind of stealthy vampire noir thing, and that's not what I got, and I shouldn't have expected that because that's not how the game built itself. And Agony, I mean, again, I don't know why I thought I would like it, because, you know, I hate stealth horror, so, and that's what the game is anyway. Hollow Knight is good though, I do like that, and Octopath Traveler, again, it's only a demo, so, you know, I still need more time with that. Other news this month, E3. E3 was on. I had planned to do individual E3 videos, but they ended up being a ton of work, and not for many views, so clearly there wasn't much interest in them. So yeah, so there weren't any individual E3 videos. I'm just gonna quickly go through kind of my takes on it. I'm only really gonna talk about games that might actually be out in, you know, the near future. So, you know, Cyberpunk looked really, really good, and Ghost of Tsushima looks really, really good, but they're years away. Cyberpunk in particular is probably like half a decade away, but in the near future. So, in some kind of order of what I liked, Resident Evil 2 Remake, holy shit, that gameplay. My god, I watched so many versions of that demo, the demo gameplay that they had at E3, and I just want to play the game now. Just give it to me. Just give it to me right now. It's fine. I was so happy to see Devil May Cry 5. I'm so happy that it's like a direct continuation of Devil May Cry 4. That's great. I'm playing that song on repeat too. Kingdom Hearts 3 finally has a release date. Hooray! Let's see if it slips this time. I'm sure it will. Hopefully not by too much. I'd really appreciate that. And some stuff I was disappointed by. Fallout 76. I kind of assumed this was going to be a multiplayer game because everything they were talking about it made it sound like this was an MMO of some kind, and it is. So to that, I have no interest in that game now. That's gone. Anthem at EA's press conference. Oh god, that was so shaky. Like, showing the same footage, same basic footage over and over. It was only jetpacks, it was only shooting, nothing about the rest of the game. Unless that's what the whole game is, in which case it is Destiny. So yeah, BioWare, like, I hope they can turn it around and get a little bit more interesting, but right now, no. I have no interest in Anthem at all. And Death Stranding is kind of in the good and bad area for me. I'm glad we got to see more Death Stranding. It still looks, you know, incredible. But also, we saw, I think, gameplay, and, like, what is the game? Is the game just walking? And, like, is it a balance game where you carry a load of shit around the place? I'd like, what is the gameplay? We still don't know. It's still super intriguing, but what the hell is going on in Death Stranding? But that's the E3, anyway. I mean, there were loads of other games announced, but again, they're so far away, there's really no point in even talking about them. Elsewhere on the channel, though, I've set up a... Well, it's not actually on this channel now that I think about it. Elsewhere on Foley Plays News, on the Foley Plays network, the global network, I've set up a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/StoomTrain5, same as the YouTube handle. Not too much up there right now. I've started a Neo LP on Twitch. I'm hoping to do a second LP, so if anyone has any ideas for that, something a bit more chill than Neo, because Neo's a little... I'm a little anxious when I'm streaming Neo, so anything, you know, a little more chill than that. Offline LPs, we've got Tomb Raider still going. We're about halfway through Tomb Raider now. And we started a new LP. We started Zone of the Enders HD, the first one, hoping to get that finished before the VR version of Zone of the Enders 2 comes out. And then next month, so next month's video, Octopath Traveler, as I said, has the demo out already, so the full game will be out next month. Also, a demo for Bloodstained was released to Kickstarter backers. It's the demo they were showing off at E3, so they've released that now, and I have played a bit of it, but I had already started recording and editing this video at that point, so that'll be in next month's video. I might do a standalone video in the meantime for that. Otherwise, there's not a huge amount of interest to me. I know there's a new Sonic game. There's a new, or not a new, there's like a Mega Man collection, and there's a Red Faction Gorilla remaster, but I honestly have no interest in any of them. Red Faction Gorilla, I played the original, and yeah, it's kind of boring. I don't know what we'll have on the video. It may be very short, who knows. But check it out, let me know what you thought about this month's video, let me know what you thought about E3, let me know what you thought about it, and check me out on Twitch. I could, you know, I could do with some followers over there. Cheers.
These skulls can be so ferocious.
I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting.